Hello and welcome to Every Quarter. This is episode number 30. The date is 25th of March 2024. Investing is a marathon. I think that's a good way of looking at it. It's not a sprint. And some of the strategies that you will use in your investment journey will depend on the stage of life you are at. With respect to different things. Key amongst those is your age. And so in this episode, I'd like to share with you investment strategies that you can employ. And this is a guide for every life phase. And to discuss this, I have deliberately divided the phases of life into three, and in each phase I discuss what the focus should be and what are some of the strategies that you should employ as you go about investing. So let's quickly get to those life phases and the different strategies that we need to employ. The first one is a phase I'm calling the starting out phase. So you can look at this as your time of your life in your early 20s to 30s. And during this period, you should be focusing on building a foundation. Okay, so this is a phase that is often looked at as the time when you should be establishing your financial security and learning the ropes of investing. Your risk tolerance during this period is quite high. So by that I mean that you are young and you are able to take on a lot of risk. I think that this is the period of time when you are the least risk averse. This is a period of time when you should be taking on a lot of risk. Because you are young and you have your whole life in front of you. I think that it's different from saying that you should be reckless with your life. What I mean is that this is a time when you can try out different things. Your objective should be growth. And some of the key activities during this phase are learning and exploring. So educate yourself about the different investment options and strategies. Start investing early, even with small contributions. You can benefit from the compound interest over time because you have the benefit of youth, you have the benefit of time. So consider an investment portfolio that is heavy on stocks because over time that is what will give you the highest returns from the perspective of the compound effect that comes in because you are young, and if you keep investing throughout your career, having started in your early 20s, you can be sure to reap very good returns, very high returns, and the compounding effect of that over time is something that will just grow your portfolio. So in the starting out phase, go big on stocks. Also because you are young, you may not be earning as much during this period, and I think investing in stocks comes in very handy because the entry barrier is very low. Okay, so let's go to phase number 2, which I'm calling growth and accumulation phase. So this is your time of life in your early 30s to 50s, and your focus here is growing your wealth. Okay, so this would typically be the prime earning period of your life when you can invest more aggressively. I think this is the period of time when you should expect that you'll be earning quite some, huge sums of money from your career. And so you should take advantage of this period to invest aggressively. Okay, your risk tolerance during this period will be medium to high. You may not be as youthful as you once were, so you begin to transition to investment strategies um, that mitigate risk from a medium to high perspective. Your objective is growth and income, so you continue investing in stocks, for example, but you begin to add bonds to your portfolio, just to give you that regular income to just begin to boost your liquidity. Okay, so increase your contributions. Aim to invest a larger portion of your income as your career progresses. Okay, I think that when you look at investment advice out there, they'll tell you you should be investing at least 10% of your income. I think when you're in this phase, strive to increase your contribution. Okay, move from 10%, 15 to 20. If you can go even as high as 50% um, contribution from your income, as your career progresses. So begin to monitor and rebalance your portfolio. So regularly review your portfolio and adjust asset allocation as needed. During this phase, you should be having different combinations of stocks and bonds. I think there are so many out there. 70-30, 60-40, 50-50. So as you move from your 30s towards the 50s, just make sure that you are increasing on the on your allocation for stocks as well. Okay, the third and last phase is what I'm calling transition and preservation phase. So this is your period between, from your early 50s all the way to your 60s and onwards. The focus here should be preserving your wealth and transitioning towards retirement. You are no longer young anymore. You may not have the strength, to go out there and hustle. You may not have the strength to go out there and work as much as you used to. So the level of tolerance of risk is medium to low, and your objective should be income plus capital preservation. During this phase, you will depend more on the money, the investments that you've already done, them giving you more income. So some of the key activities here is reducing risk. Okay, so gradually shift your portfolio towards a more conservative investments like bonds to reduce volatility. Stocks come with high volatility, and I think you wouldn't want an investment portfolio high on stocks during this late period in your life. You may not be able to handle that volatility at this age, and so it is important that you add bonds to your portfolio to just smoothen the ride. you know so other activities, this is about retirement income planning. So your strategy basically during this phase should be generating income in retirement. Okay, so make sure that you have a portfolio that is giving you income that you have, you can draw on, month in and month out throughout the period of your retirement. And that's how come it is important that your investment portfolio has during this period, you should have a healthy part of your portfolio in bonds to give you that regular income. And it is best that those bonds are laddered so that every month you are getting coupons from your bonds that are able to support you in your retirement. That's the third and last strategy to employ in your investments during this phase of life. So what's the upshot to all this? I think that these phases are not meant to be, these strategies are not meant to be rigid. This is a guide and not a rule. And I think that when you analyze the different strategies that you would employ in your investment journey, you'd agree with me that at every phase of life, we are implementing all these three strategies in varying degrees. I think the point that I had to make in this video is that in a given phase, I think in a given phase of life, the focus will be more on the key things that you have to do um, during that phase. Not that you should neglect the other activities that become the center of focus in the other phases. It's a question of where your priorities are. And so in your growth phase, go big on stocks. In the second phase of your life, I think this is where you begin to transition, I think, from a portfolio that is predominantly stocks to one that begins to grow also the allocation for bonds. And as you go on late in your life, you should make sure that you have a sizable chunk in terms of allocation of bonds to give you that regular income that you need in your retirement. Okay, I think that's the guide. Always remember to ensure that you just don't take these presentations on the face of it. You are responsible for your money. You are responsible for your investment decisions. Ensure that you've done also your own, you've done your own investigations, you've done your own research as you make these investment decisions. They are yours to make. They are not for anyone to make. Until next time, when we come again with another episode, continue investing, continue learning the ropes of investing, and continue being hopeful that a brighter day is coming insofar as your financial well-being is concerned. See you in the next video.